Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and not Twitter this time, but something in real life recently inspired me to do this one today about Eminem in a clip from I believe 2002, where he talked about his fans and what they go through and what they have to put up with. I'll share a segment of the video for you guys where Eminem talks about this, and I'll narrate the events that happened in real life about it. It's quite amazing how social media isn't the only place to find anecdotes of what Eminem was talking about and what I'm about to show you guys.
My whole fan base they're the shit, bro. Yeah, I definitely think my fans take a lot more than anybody else's fans. Cause like sticking up for me is probably like a 24/7 job. That's how I know my true fans. Is anybody who has been with me since I came out and followed me all the way to this record and bought it and have followed my life and seen the things that I've went through, because most of this shit that I've went through is a public figure. So my life has been public because people go through the shit that I go through every day. I guess that's my gift, is I'm able to take the bad and turn it into something good, if that's what you want to call it. I'm able to take my situations and make art out of it.
Now, as you heard from the man himself, he also believes his fans get unfairly picked on, just the same way the media gives him a lot of stick, and you know damn well that nothing much has changed since then. In fact, I would argue that it's worse right now. Eminem was at his prime years when all the albums he's released at this point were all straight up fire, and yet the younger folks especially may not know that it has been like this since the beginning, which is why people like us that witness this never follow what the LSM says about Eminem, since we lost trust from the beginning. Notice how the LSM that gave him terrible reviews from the beginning are the first to jump in right now and claim Eminem's older projects were great when back then they didn't think so, but they believe most people have the attention span of a goldfish to forget what actually happened, and they are mostly right. So why am I covering this now? Well, I have a real life incident just a few days ago, and usually it's social media posts where we see this, but let's talk about real life, since social media is not an accurate representation of what's going on in the real world, although I know the Twitter warriors will disagree. Before we get to that, remember to hit the like button if you enjoy content like this, and if you're new here, also hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss a video. So I was out with my mate recently, just out and about, and we ran into a group of people we recognized. We were talking about hip-hop music, and the whole conversation was going so well, you know, talking about the legends in hip-hop while having drinks, until the conversation of top rappers began. Now, everyone has the right to name whoever they want in their top 5 best rappers, for instance, since it's a personal list based solely on opinions and not facts. So if someone says Lil Pump is in their personal top 5 based on personal preference, there's no argument there, as it's only when facts are involved that we can then choose to discuss further. So as expected, everyone was dropping names, you know, Ice Cube, Pac, Snoop, DMX, Biggie, Eminem, and Nas were common names dropped. But guess what? No one questions anyone's decision to name other artists that make this list, but as soon as Eminem is dropped, the attacks and defending begins. Out of everyone named, it only became a topic for discussion focused on Eminem. So of all the rappers, it was only when it came to Eminem, and it was like I was part of a Twitter thread in real life. I heard the most common talking points when it comes to attacking Eminem. As you'd have guessed, the first I heard was Eminem's new music is terrible. And guess what? The guy that said this clearly didn't know that Eminem has released newer albums, as when I questioned him about Kamikaze, his ignorance showed. All I asked was, so do you believe that Kamikaze is a terrible album compared to other recent hip-hop albums you've heard? And he didn't seem to know what I was talking about or even have an idea of when Kamikaze released, and that was when one of his mates jumped in to tell him that he's heard Kamikaze and the album is amazing. As you'd expect, he stuck to his points that newer Eminem music is terrible, and I was able to decode that the last Eminem album he listened to was Relapse, since he didn't know about anything nothing Eminem related since after that album. All he knew was Eminem is now terrible. Apparently his mindset was stuck in the Relapse era, an album that was the first in the somewhat social media age to get trashed by the LSM and users. It was only a few years after that public opinion began to sway, so he's been under the impression that Eminem since Relapse has been bad and evidently hasn't checked out any album since then, but he's first in line to spew the nonsense that Eminem has been terrible. People will get offended when you tell them that many times their opinions aren't formed on their own, but shaped by external influences. And here we have someone in real life who formed an opinion based on what we see in the LSM and on social media, that newer Eminem music is terrible, an opinion that was formed after Relapse released in 2009 and hasn't been updated since then. It took the LSM a decade to turn non-player characters against Eminem, to change word on the streets for those who don't pay attention to their tricks. And I have to say it's working, but we are here to swing that pendulum back. If you experienced something similar in real life, share your story with us in the comments section below. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, and something for you to think about. Why always Eminem?